Hello everyone, this video will show how to sketch the graph of trigonometric functions in transformed form. So let's go over this example. So we're given f of x equals 4 sine 1/3 quantity x minus pi over 2 plus 1. So the first step that we need to do is to determine the amplitude A. So our amplitude in this problem is 4. So I'm going to go ahead and write 4 up here. The next step that we need to figure out is the midline. So the formula for the midline of a transformed form of a trigonometric function is y equals the d value, which in this case here, this represents as our d. So the equation for the midline is y equals 1. The next step that we need to do is to determine the b value. So the b value is this one right here. So this is 1/3. Now we need to figure out the starting point of one cycle of the graph or the phase shift. So we can determine the phase shift or the starting point by setting up this equation to 0. So that is x minus pi over 2 equals 0 and solving for x. We also need to determine the period. So the formula for period is 2 pi over b. So in this case right here, our b is 1/3. So that is 2 pi over 1/3. This is a complex fraction. In the numerator, we have 2 pi over 1. In the denominator, we have 1/3. So flip it, 3 over 1. So our period is 6 pi. Now we're supposed to determine the end point or the end point of one cycle of the graph. So the end point can be solved by adding the starting point or the phase shift and the period. So in this problem right here, we have our starting point is at pi over 2 and then our period is at 6 pi. So that we can go ahead and make their denominators the same, we can multiply this by 2 over 2 so that our equation would come out pi over 2 plus 12 over 2, which gives us 13 pi over 2 is the end point. So that from here, we can go ahead and write the 5 points here. So we're going to start with a starting point, which is pi over 2. So let's say pi over 2 is down here. So I'm going to label this as pi over 2. And then we also have the end point is at 13 pi over 2. So let's assume that it's up here. This is 13 pi over 2. So we're going to divide this into 5 points. So that's the first half. Half of this is somewhere here. Half of these two is somewhere here. So we go ahead and determine the coordinates for this 3 other dots here. So what we do is we are going to add these two together, multiply by 1/2. So that is 1 pi plus 13 pi is 14 pi over 2. We multiply that by 1/2 to get its middle. So this can be simplified as this is 2 canceled out and this is 7. So this comes out 7 times 1 is 7 pi and then we got a 2. So this one right here is 7 pi over 2. Now let's have the middle between these two. So that would be 1 pi plus 7 pi is 8 pi and that is over 2. And then again, we multiply that by 1/2 to get the middle. So we can go ahead and cancel 2 here and this becomes 4. So we get a 4 pi over 2. Next, we are going to determine the middle of these two here. So we're going to add these two. So that would be 7 pi plus 13 pi is 20 pi over 2. And then multiply that by 1/2. So we go ahead and cross out 2 here and this becomes 10. So that's 10 pi over 2. From here, we can go ahead and simplify this. 4 pi over 2 is 2 pi. And then 10 pi over 2 is 5 pi. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce that to its lowest term. We're ready to sketch the midline. So the midline is located on y equals 1. So it's going to be up here. Now, please remember that sine and cosine function looks like this. So since we have a sine here, it's going to resemble this graph. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 5 dots up here. Our amplitude is 4. So we're going to go up 4 and down 4 from the midline. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our highest point. Then we go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our lowest point. So this is the graph of this given function that we have up there.